I am really quite concerned now. There's been so much rain and I can see it everywhere around me. Everything is green. Pools of water everywhere. The rain normally stops in March. It hasn't. It's rained all the way through April. The Makadi pans, when they get wet, are impossible. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't go onto the pans on your own without a support vehicle if the ground is soft. You cannot do it. It's too hazardous. Right, I'm on the bush track towards Kokonia Island, and this is the part of the trip that is unknown to me. This road runs along the buffalo cattle fence. I'll explain those later, what they mean, but this will run along the fence line for, my guess is, 30 to 40 kilometers. And then we will soon start to see the southern portion of Sowa Pan. There are not a lot of tracks in Botswana that I haven't driven. This is one of them. I've come in from the top. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I have driven it. I have. When I tried to get to Kokonia in 1990, I think it was 7 or 8, I came south on this road. I did. Oh well. It's been a long time. 30 plus years. Now the hill in front of me is the escarpment that overlooks Sowa Pan, and it's quite a climb to walk up that escarpment, but at the top of it there are some ancient ruins, and when I was here in 2010, Mike Mahan actually showed me some we actually found some ancient beads. Having made our way to the southern edge of Sowa Pan of the Great Makadi Pans, we embark on a climb up the only hill for as far as the eye can see. We're at the southern tip of Sowa Pan, and along the southern edge of the pan are some very high hills. They're much higher than anything else for quite some distance. And this is actually a national archaeological site, the top of this hill. And we're going to take a walk up there, and I believe Mike tells us that there are a few surprises to find. What are you looking for, Mike?
Well, I'm looking for, well, here's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I was looking for. Can you see that?
This piece there?
Yeah, that round thing.
That round thing?
Yeah, that's an ostrich eggshell bead, and it's a particularly fine one. And it's very, very small, very delicate. Very well made. Pretty good, considering that was made without the use of iron, and probably 1,000 years ago.
The track is strewn with mapani branches that I really must remove. Mapani is incredibly hard wood, and spikes readily go through even the very best tyres. So it's probably a two-wheel drive vehicle here, and they use sticks to help them get through it. And that's, imagine what happened. It was obviously had collected some water at some stage and was very dry, which is very good news. It bodes well for what we have to do later, which I'm actually a bit scared about, and that's cross the 10 kilometers of Sowa Pan to get onto Kokonia Island. There's a story to be told. It's 2:30. Sunset's a little before 6. Should make it. I've got it. I'll decide when I get there if I feel it's safe. Okay, this doesn't look as alright, I can move that log out the way. Interesting. I've got to do it. I don't have any choice. Take it easy, take it slow. I don't see any sharp points in any of the logs, except of course this log. We're going to get this one out of the way. All right. I think what I'll do is I'll just mount the camera somewhere and film the car coming across. Put a little stand on the camera. So I lock the rear diff. Lock the rear diff when the vehicle is at an angle, because then what might have happened is that if the vehicle has suddenly started to slide in the most difficult part, if it had started to slide, I would have accelerated quite hard to get me out of it. But if it's sloped, you want both back wheels driving. If the left wheel does get into a hole and starts to spin, well, it'll just spin and the vehicle will continue to slide. Whereas with the diff locked, it pushes the vehicle forward. Steep thing, the car started to slide. If I catch a wheel in there, I'm stuck. Much easier. Coming back this way, it'll be a lot easier. Although also quite difficult climbing out of that. A little bit nerve-wracking being on my own, you see. Oh, my range. Being on my own is, make a mistake and find yourself in a lot of bother. Anyway, we managed to do it. Time for a grass net. I heard a noise. That was wrapped around my axle. Piece of wire. I have seen what a piece of wire can do wrapped around a CV joint. And it had started to wrap its way around, and I heard this little shup, 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 which I could sense would match the rotation of the wheels. Front right wheel. No damage done. There in the distance is that white line you can see in the distance there. That is Sowa Pan. First glimpse of Sowa Pan. There it is there, can you see that? Sun reflecting off the pan surface. That is Sowa Pan proper. I don't know if I want to tackle it tonight. I'm driving straight into the sun. I've just passed a place 2k's back. Really nice campsite behind a little hill with the baobab trees. I'm not sure. I think what I'm going to do is go and have a look at the crossing. So I'm not concerned about it and think about it all night. Go and have a look at the crossing, see if it's possible, see if I think it's possible. I would far prefer to do it with the sun behind me, well prepared. I can pull out the drone, but right now it's well after 4, and I'm thinking the smart thing to do would be to not cross now. This is quite a story, this place, that I want to tell. I don't want to be rushed. This is the road here. Looks abandoned to me. Nobody here at all. Veterinary cordon boundary, that's what that says. Let's have a look. Now this fence that you see on the left, this fence goes halfway to Kokonya Island. It's dead straight, it's in very bad state of repair. And the tyre tracks don't look quite as fresh, but actually one or two that do look quite fresh actually. And there is the island. There is Kokonya Island. I haven't seen Kokonya since 1997. And it looks, yes it is, it's water. There is no ways I can cross it. I can tell you that right now. Sowa Pan is underwater. Now there is often a mirage on Sowa Pan and it looks like water, but it actually isn't water. So I think this is as far as I can go. Almost certainly go for a walk. Hat, bottle of water, turn off engine. Okay, that's my shower switch. Turn that off. Going to take some water and a new battery. These are quite recent. I can see the demarcations of the tread, and whoever tried it started getting bogged here. Because reaching Kokonya Island is an impossibility yet again, I'm going to have to rely on the footage I shot in 1990. Kokonya Island. Actually following the tracks of another vehicle very slowly, because this stuff, when it is wet, it is totally impassable, and I don't actually feel like making fresh tracks, because then I have no way of gauging how solid the surface is or how wet the surface is. Everything looks incredibly dry and incredibly hard, but I'm still nervous that suddenly it's going to change. There's going to be there could easily be a patch in the middle of the pan that is wet, and if I drive into that wet patch, I'm not going to get out again, and even digging is not going to get us out. So it's a little bit tricky, but it looks very safe. But I'm not going to take any chances by going too fast and then suddenly find I'm in trouble. It's hell of a hot. The amount of heat being reflected off this white surface is mind-blowing, you know, and the air conditioner isn't working. We just got the fan on. Right, we've actually arrived now at the edge of the island, and there are some wonderful big baobabs.
It's gorgeous. One just wants to go up and hug it, you know. It's so impossible. But although it is so beautiful, I don't think it's the right tree for us because there are not enough other trees around here that we can camp under.
We were, in fact, picking out a tree for our honeymoon suite.
They've got to be the most beautiful trees in the whole world.
This is one of the most beautiful places we've ever been to in Africa. It is so quiet, it's unbelievable. You can actually hear the blood being pumped through your ears, it's so quiet. We've spent 2 nights here, and we've been the only people on the island. We've had a nice day yesterday exploring the island. We drove all the way around it, and we walked up to the kopje, and it is like a miniature Serengeti. It's absolutely delightful. And this is where we're going to get married. So the story that I wanted to tell you, I'm going to walk to the water's edge. But basically, I mean, you can see around me here how incredibly beautiful but remote this place is. There's some people over there who camped. My guess is that they probably thought maybe we should try and get to Kokonya. Actually quite surprised to see anybody out here, but anyway, this is the fence post. Now I'm going to tell you a story now where this was the one time, forgive me if you've heard it, that I actually feared for my life. 1997, I was driving a white Prado that belonged to Toyota South Africa. I was with a friend of mine, Jacques Maritz, who was a radio presenter, journalist, and also a keen photographer. I have very pleasant memories. Jacques, if you watch this, I have very pleasant memories of the trips. We did 2 or 3 trips together, 4 trips. Yeah, good memories, all good memories about traveling with you. We had spent some time at Kubu Island. I just can't get over how gorgeous this place is. I just love it. And the part of it that makes it so appealing is that it guards its secrets well. Anyway, we had been to Kubu and we had an amazing time, and I was suffering from, I had mild heat stroke. I was shooting a lot of stuff. And here we are in the notorious Sowa Pans, one of my favorite places on earth. And had overdone it and was not drinking enough water, which I'm very conscious of that. Oh, the ground is getting quite soft under my feet. We've just been filming how to not get stuck or how to avoid getting stuck on the pans. Come and look at this. Follow me, Jacques. Oh, I must introduce you to Jacques. Give me the camera. Yeah. This is Jacques. He's helping me get stuck. Come here, look at this. This is the kind of mud you get into. We got stuck out there. We decided, let's give it a go. Let's go to Kokonya Island. So,
we decided to try and get to Kokonya. Ooh. Now already, so you see a car has been here, and already this ground under my feet is actually quite soft. We're on our own, surface is fine, so we give it a go, following all the rules I've just displayed to you. And it gets a little bit wet, but we keep going. Then it gets a bit wetter, about 1.5 k's across. It's pretty wet, but we're still floating. About 2 k's across, we start sinking. About 3 k's across, we just by the skin of our teeth managed to get onto some tussock grass. And we came along and we stopped there, took some pictures. The first time I ever arrived here, there's some lovely shots of Gwyn and I. Well, we've arrived. Behind us, across about 3 kilometers of pan, is Kokonya Island. Parked with our Land Rover on the banks, and we did a whole lot of, and I did that talk to camera when I was wearing those terrible shorts. And we drove along this fence, and you can see the fence line there. Okay, that fence line, it's a double fence line. And we passed the end of the fence. We were driving along and it was starting to get sticky. And the trouble is, you know, you might be thinking right now, Andrew, why don't you just give it a go? This is why you don't just give it a go on the salt pans. Don't take the risk. 2 vehicles. Don't do what we just did. We got out, it took us about 1.5 hours because I've been in this situation before. I know the tricks, I know what not to do. Be careful about digging. When you dig, you disturb the soil and the vehicle sinks deeper. You've got to find logs and pack them underneath the vehicle. Balloon jacks don't work. You've got to have a high lift jack to get the vehicle up. I gave it a go and suddenly I felt the vehicle squirmy, lose a little bit of direction control, and big clogs of mud shooting up next to my window as the front wheel started spinning and throwing mud behind us. And then it's too late. And that's the trouble. It's too late. You cannot stop. If you stop, you've had it. So I basically carried on going, and I saw some tussock grass. I don't see any here. And we passed the last fence post, and I knew I had to do something. Either do a big turn, but that just makes things worse. And I decided, get to the tussock grass, because if you bog down here, the chassis and the ground will slowly meet. So in other words, you'll lose traction, stop, and the light will literally disappear between the chassis and the ground as the vehicle sinks slowly in it. And if it gets to that situation, you are in deep, deep, deep trouble. Even with other vehicles to pull you out. Vehicles have been lost on these pans because they cannot be extricated. So that is why I am not giving it a go. Right, so what happened then? I shouted to Jacques. I shouted, "The poles!" There were 2 poles lying on the ground. And we sprinted back, must have been 50 meters, I don't know, maybe more. And we picked up these poles and we ran back to the car and we slid them underneath to stop it settling. And then I realized that we were in trouble. We were on our own. We had bellied on this stuff. It was much hotter than it is now. Far, far hotter. And I said to Jacques, we are going to have one try at this, but we're going to prepare ourselves really well. And I put on a long sleeve shirt, covered myself with sunblock, because you can see the reflection here is really quite something. And right now, the pan's actually looking quite dark in colour. That's because they're wet, and that is because they are soft. I said, we're going to have one try at this, and if we are not successful, we are going to try at night to get ourselves out, because there was a full moon that night. The risk of heat exhaustion was too high. We then moved the poles and positioned them as if they would be max tracks. We walked around where the vehicle was bogged, and we determined that there was an area where the ground was quite firm. And I decided, okay, I'm going to reverse over the poles, and I'm going to turn quite sharply, because if I can turn quite sharply on firm ground, the car will turn. You try and turn sharply in that soft stuff, it will just bog. And I said, all we need to do is to get onto this firm bit of ground. And once we're on the firm bit of ground, we'll do a neat, short 3, 4, 5 point turn to head back home. And I'm going to start walking on this to see it. Oh, sherbet, look at that. Okay, so do you see what I'm talking about? That's what will happen to a car tire. And I'm actually treading in the firm bit, because there is a track going there, and this is the firm part of the track right here that I thought might be able to take a vehicle's weight. And these footprints, by the way, are ostrich. Okay, can you see why crossing would be suicide? Yeah, well, there you go. So I started the reversing maneuver, and it actually went a little better than I thought it was. And I remember Jacques saying, go, 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 go. In other words, not just park, but do the 3 point turn. Actually swing. You've got traction, you're moving, use it. And he was absolutely right. I swung the car around and went, wow! Ah. In one maneuver, we were facing where we needed to go. Said a prayer, because it was our last day in the wilderness. We had 15 litres of water left, only 15. And in a place like this, the temperatures like this, you're consuming 10 each a day, just drinking the stuff. So we faced that way, and we gunned it. And again, it was too late now, but it is going to get better. But you noticed earlier I put on my grass net. I learnt, because I didn't have a grass net with that vehicle. Well, it wasn't mine. But still, I should have thought about it. And we had driven through worse grass than that. So we had quite a bit of grass in the radiator. I had been cleaning it out, but cleaning it out is never as effective as preventing it getting in there. And the engine was overheating. So by the time we got to the end, the engine was well into the red. I then idled the engine for a while and let it cool a bit, and then shut it down, and then gave the radiator a good solid clean out. That is my story of Coconia. This is my third attempt at getting here. My second failed attempt. The previous failed attempt, we tried to drive from that point over there. So if you look over there, there's that point there. We were there, and we'd bought my friend's Range Rover, and I had my 110 over there, and we tried a much shorter crossing there. But nobody ever uses that crossing because it's ridiculously soft, and we failed.
Yeah, we're just saying that we don't think we'll cope with another bogging down.
The way you get to the island is to walk at this stage.
Yeah, well, we figured that we might as well just camp here, and while we set up camp, try and do what we can, the guys can do what they can to dig the vehicle out.
Yeah.
We didn't get, Mark tried and he got about 100 meters from the edge. So what do you think, Johns?
What?
Plan of action.
Plan of action. Just get the thing out of the mud, that's it. No big deal.
Mark got bogged 7 times during the day, but that last one, we actually left his vehicle in the mire and went back the following morning and managed to get it out. And it was shot with an old Super 8 Video 8 it was called, camera. But it actually made it into one of my TV series because, hey, you know, the quality wasn't very good, but man, what a great story that turned out to be. So I apologize for not being able to take you to Kokonia. I can promise you South Island would have been exactly the same. Exactly the same. Not a chance. So my question is, where should I camp? I think, I do like the idea, maybe I should drive up there past those people and find a campsite like they're doing on the edge of the pan. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Hope you've enjoyed my little story. All right, I've got an idea. I'm going to follow these tracks. They look quite fresh. I'm going to cross over the fence. These fences are here to stop cattle, not people. That's the purpose of them. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I can see by these tracks that have been made since the last rains how deep. So I can use the tracks to gauge my risk. I'm going to go slowly over that so it doesn't kick up any of the... So these shallow bits here are potentially a problem. But these stones are pretty firm. Again, following the tracks of other people. And there's a nice line of trees about 1 kilometer away. I think I'm going to make for that. Now the tracks in the area give me an idea that it's not uncommon for people to arrive here with the idea of crossing onto Kokonia, deciding it's a bad idea, and then heading off looking for a campsite, which is exactly what is happening now. It's potentially a soft bit here, but it's actually, no, it's okay. Right. This is the soft bit here, this is the danger bit here. So see what I mean? I don't know why it does that. See where the tracks are deepest. That's where the water has collected. What's wrong with this? The grass is not very pleasant to camp on. It's dark in colour. Avoid anything that is dark in colour. I think this is where I'm going to camp. This is firm, pebbly ground.
I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. I mean, being flat or not isn't an issue, but I'm not quite satisfied with this spot.
Yeah, what do you think? I think the flattest area is over there, next to those trees. But the trees are surrounded by grass, so the idea of getting close to those trees is actually not a very sensible idea. I'm just not happy with this place, and I don't know why. I'm just not happy with this place. I know you might not see it being any different from that other place, but it is. Are we flat? We are flat. We are flat. Yeah, slightly down at the back. All right, so what do you think? A couple of days here, 2 nights camp. Could it be any more wildernessy? Okay, I'm leaving the car running because the charger is working. What I am going to do though is I'm going to get out my solar blankets so they start charging. Well, I've still got a bit of charge left today, but I need every bit of charge current I can get. After all that, I deserve a beer. Oh, and I've turned that fridge off to try and prevent any...
I'm having problems with my electrical system. More about that later.
Unnecessary current draw. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you very much for... Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll get a shirt on because it's suddenly... a little breeze came up and it's suddenly a bit cool. I'm going to lift up the camera. Crane shot. I absolutely love shooting at this time of day because, well, the sunset, I mean, it's, you know, and I can still film, and silence is deafening. I can, if I stand still, my Starlink, and people are coming back to me with help on the electrical system. I can stand in absolute complete silence, and you see what I mean? That ping altered my frame of thought. And the only reason why I've got it on is because of needing to sort out my electrical system. Yeah, come on. Now would be perfect. But there he is there. There are a number of Mopani hawk moths. They're quite heavy, small, about that big. A delta wing, and they are going after my beer. I have a story to tell, of course, of these things. Come on. Oh, that's not good. That was not what I had in mind. Gwen and I, on our very first trip to Botswana, we were in a place called Nata. And we both had red wine, and we played this little game with each other. These creatures would come on our wine glasses,
And so we would then drink the wine, and then they would land on our lips, and with their little proboscis suck the sweetness on our lips, and it was excruciatingly ticklish. And we had a competition on who could last the longest with this hawk moth on our lips. And it was not more than a few seconds. It was excruciating, but it was very, very funny. Lovely memory of the Mopani hawk moth. One of the sensations of this kind of quiet is that one is startled by sounds that you make. So the dropping of a plate can startle you, or the putting down of a glass, or cutting something on a cutting board is deafening. You're now looking at an image where the camera is creating what's known as noise. It's video noise. It's the camera's systems trying to suck up as much light as possible. The same happens with one's ears. When it is so quiet that the ears amplify every sound, no matter how slight that sound, to disproportionate levels. Like, as I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the torch onto the car and you'll see what I mean. It really is quite an extraordinary sensation. It's so beautiful. Why do I like this place so much? I like that because of the nothingness, the emptiness, the silence, it just sings to my soul. Sorry for the cliche. I'm now going to take a picture of the camera. There you go. That's a really boring picture, but I've still got my self-timer on. I was doing self-timers last night. Self-timing shoots last night of you would have seen them in the show, me walking around with the camera and stuff like that. I was doing self-timing stills. Well, there you go. There's my campsite. Oh, that's nice. I'll get a little bit closer to the ground, I think. What about the sun right behind the car? Low level. That's quite nice. Like the car's glowing. Right. 2-camera shoot. I once had a 3-camera shoot. Single crew 3-camera shoot. This is an amazing little thing because it can follow me around. It does it a bit sensitively, over-sensitively, and it looks a bit silly, but anyway. So now I'm going to get a shot of the campsite. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to get a shot of the campsite now, video and stills, without the sun in the picture, but I do want foreground. And because I want foreground, I'm going to use this grass here. It's why I actually parked here. I parked here intentionally so that I could get some grass in the foreground. Oh, it's so much nicer. It's just so much nicer with grass in the foreground. I get a video shot too. With a video shot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the grass. The autofocus is on, and I'm going to lift up the camera. So you have a crane shot. See how nice the perspective is. And I'm going to do another one. I'm actually going to walk through the grass. It's an alternative.
keep the sun there, and slowly lift the camera and hold the camera still. You see this here? There's a moth trapped inside. That was amazing yesterday, watching those moths. Gee, incredible. So what happens now is that it becomes really quite warm. There's not going to be any wind at all, so I think I'm probably going to, I might bake here today. Might be very, very hot. But I'm definitely going to leave the camp as it is now. Get up. I've got to repair a solar panel connection, which was not, well, I didn't complete it, but I'm going to get my second blanket out because I need as much energy as I can get. So what I'm now doing, I'm using a vice grip as a vice to hold on to that, and I have to remove the this is a spare connector for an Anderson plug. I have to put the Anderson plug on the end of this cable, which is wired directly to the Victron 20 amp MPPT on board, and once I've done that I can then connect a second panel to my system. This is a small Zippo a butane burner that I carry. There you go. Right now, this is the negative. What I need to do is I need to angle it. Give it an angle. So, I'm ready with that. I also carry things like solder. Obviously a spare Anderson cable, very important. It was connected to a piece of wire that had been used for another task that I no longer need it for. So in a few minutes I'll see what the new panel will give us. I'm going to turn the car around, give me more shade in the afternoon. The sun is going to be brutal. So now we have a 300 watt red arc there, and we have a I think it's 112 anamorphous there. We are getting total in balance of current is just under 5 amps of charge, and that, let's have a look at the smart solar. At the moment this 112 watt anamorphous panel is giving us 40 watts. So now another test of this anamorphous panel. Okay, it's 112 watts rating. When the sun is above our heads, you don't get a sun much clearer than this. Maybe in parts of Australia you will get more intense UV than this, you will, but we'll see. At the moment 40 watts, not very much, but still we are winning. I'm not expecting visitors today, but nice to see these grey-headed gulls. And to my surprise, I did have some visitors. So I was just visited by these guys behind the car now. They from the Botswana Defence Force, and they came to see if I was okay. They saw my tracks and to see if I was okay, and they were very polite. Always good to see them. I've had a couple of interactions with the Botswana Defence Force when I've been in Botswana.
It's always been extremely positive, and I'll move over here so you can perhaps see them drive off. But there they are there.
Bye.
Bye. So altogether positive, really. What I'm camped on is a beach. And these stones are quite round. I mean, all of them are quite round, mostly quartz, and they form an ancient shoreline. The lowest part of this vast lake, the Makarikari. And in fact, when it gets wet, it smells a little bit like rotten fish. There is an incredibly high concentration of animal matter in the mud. It's one of the reasons why the mud has this odd texture. It tends to cling to the wheels, cling to boots and shoes. And what we are seeing here is they've had such incredible rains up north, and we're going to be seeing that when we visit the Victoria Falls, Lake Kariba, massive, much higher than average rainfall, because it is rare, a 10-year event, that Sowa Pan becomes this flooded. We are in for a treat. As we continue our journey, we are in for a treat because the water levels are going to be fantastically high. Time now, I think, for a shower using my Egon water hub and shower kit. Oh, I love doing this. This is the best thing. My absolute favourite thing to do in the whole world is this. Just and it's why I pay a lot of attention to my bills, is that I like being comfortable when camping. I have to go camping to find these remote spots. The act of camping is not what appeals to me. The act of being in a place like this is what appeals to me. And so I won't go camping. I'll never go camping for the sake of going camping. I don't see a point of that. This is why I go camping. And so to make the camping as pleasurable as possible, that's why this rig is as amazing as it is. Welcome to this part of my Africa 2025 series. You find me utterly alone, admiring the sunset on Sowa Pan. And this is my favourite place on earth. How the mood has changed this morning. This bitter wind has come up and blowing from, which is just basically south. Freezing wind all night. Could hear distant thunder and lightning. It's got up in the middle of the night because I'd left a few things out that if they got a bit wet it wouldn't really worry me, but it's going to go rain, and so I mean, if I look over there, look, there's actually rain over there. In fact, if I look, I've got rain, 180 degrees rain all the way around. It's amazing because this time last year this place was in a drought. It was suffering greatly from lack of water. It never rains, but it pours. That's very apt. Corny, but apt. It is 9. Because I have lost one of my batteries, I only have now 100 amp hour to work with. And right now I'm sitting on about 50% of that. And no sun, cannot rely, as I did yesterday, on solar power. I will have to, if I want to stay here, I will have to run the engine for at least an hour. I could go exploring, but I'm actually worried. I'm a bit scared about exploring, because what happens if I get stuck or something? It's dangerous driving around the Pans. I don't really want to do it because I don't think I'm going to enjoy it that much. But I love this sky. Is just energy in the air is just amazing. And it's chilly, and it's why I love troop carriers. I had my breakfast inside, did a bit of work on the computer, nice and comfy. I can watch a movie. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I need to admit it, that I'm being fussy because I've got old. I'm not old, I'm just older. And that, camping now with a wind cheater on in this cold wind wouldn't be that much fun. But in there, I'm enjoying myself. So maybe I'll just stay here another day and I can just run that. I got a hand throttle on the Land Cruiser. It's got a little hand throttle. I can just rev it at 1100 RPM. I'll get 40 amp, more than 40 amp out of the Red Arc BCDC 40. It frequently delivers over 42 amps. I could run that for 1 hour. My battery would be at 100% full. But then tonight I got to cook on gas, and I probably won't need a shower because it's not going to be hot. So I could do it. I'm in no hurry. The alternative is to go up to, I felt a drop of rain. The alternative is to go up to Nata, go into the Nata Sanctuary. But the campsite is, I can't camp on the side of the Pan like this. I can't. It's in trees and it's quite close to the road, so it's noisy. Yeah, it's raining. It's starting to rain. I'm going to climb inside. Because I can. Right, let's have a look and see what the battery is doing. I am in contact with the guys back in Australia about the battery to see if we can sort out the problem, but it's not going to be likely. I can hear the engine rev change. So right now we're getting 46 amp charge from that DC-DC charger. 46 amps. Actually, it's probably a little less. It's probably about an amp coming out of the solar panel. There's very little coming out. There's very little sun, so it's probably an amp. So anyway, I'm now sitting at a 70. It says 72 of 200 reduced to, so in effect that's slightly less than 50% of a 100. I know it's confusing. It's confusing. I know that. All right, I'm going to run that until that says, I'll run it for 30 minutes. I have decided to look for another place to camp. I'm going to stay on the Pans. I want another night here. I just think I just need different surroundings. So a little bit of a change. But I don't know where. There are very, very few tracks in the area. I want to go back to the fence line and then fly a drone down the fence line so you can get an idea of the length. I can't fly to the island. I don't nearly have the range to do that, but where are my tracks? You can actually see my tracks anyway. I don't want to drive around there. Don't want to drive around there. See, even this, I'm looking for my tracks on the way in. I'd like to prefer to follow them, to be honest, because I know it's firm. Soft. I wish I could find my tracks. I just can't. I can see there are quite a few tracks made by cattle, but there are my tracks and the tracks made by the army guys. I know I crossed this piece here. Recognize it. Weird, hey? Really weird. Cannot find my tracks. So here are my tracks. I found them. Found my tracks. Good. That is soft ahead. You see that little soft bit ahead? That's where I spun my wheels before. I'm stuck. Max tracks. It's raining and I'm badly stuck. Gotta wait for it to stop raining. Shit. Alright, I'm going to show you what's going on and then I'm going to focus. So I'm not going to film the car from outside. You can see how the vehicle is stuck there. Max tracks there. I'm about to dig out that area there in the back wheels. Okay, that's the path, that's the soft bit, and it's a little further ahead. I don't have to go very much further for it to get a bit softer, but you can see here that's what's happened. So I'm going to dig away in front of the wheel, dig away there, and get the max tracks underneath. This is still soft here. This is still soft, but here is much harder here. So I don't actually have to go very far. Right, I'm going to put the camera back and I'll let you know how it goes. All right. pointed at the thing, keep the door closed, my winch seat's getting things, so it's good and firm on the front, but I'm still stuck at the back here, not nearly as badly. The car is almost level, so I'm getting there. I'm getting there. One more of those. Oh, I need to torque that up. That's no good. So the front wheels are clear, you see that? Just the back wheel. There's a trouble with these Troopies. They're very heavy on the back. So I have to go finding my max tracks. I can see, yeah, I can see them. Right, okay. I'm going to do that again. I had to use low first. Low first, it's far too low a gear for this. Far too low a gear. But I needed the low first to get it onto the max tracks. So this time, I'm going to put the max tracks and then I'm going to try it in low second. I'll get back to you. All right. I'm going to try this in low second now. Low second. Try and get into low third. I'm really truly stuck. I'm really and truly stuck. Right, I need to stop, I need to rest. I'm exhausting myself. So what I've got is I had this new tyre deflation system put in the car. I haven't had a time to test it out. So now I've got to get my tyres deflated. Back tyres, I need to let them right down. And I'm just going to let them down. Right, it is really bucketing down now. It's soft. I'm worried that I'm in trouble. I'm going to make my steering wheel dirty. I need gloves to do this. And of course it's wet, it's raining, which is just making it worse every second. Yeah. Done some more digging. It's still raining quite hard. And I've dug a big hole in front of the front wheels, so the wheels will go down onto the max tracks. Hopefully enough of grip to get me to go forward. I can't get grip on the max tracks. I can't get any grip on them. Can't get grip on the max tracks. The tyres have become slick. The max tracks worked first time brilliantly. Now they are so caked in mud, and you can't clean the mud off. They're so caked in mud now that a rescue. Time is 20 to 2. I'm approximately 70 kilometers from the nearest place where I could get a rescue. Right, I'm going to give it one more go. I'm going to try and low third. It won't. I cannot grip the Maxtrax. Maxtrax failed. The tyres, they're still sitting like this. The Maxtrax are still sitting like this. The tyres can't grip. So I've dug holes in front of the wheels. I'll show it to you. So I've dug holes. You see the Maxtrax is still elevated. It's underneath the wheel. The wheel cannot grip it. The tyres are so slick that they cannot even grip a Maxtrax. And it is very soft in front of it. First time in my life. If I have to sleep here, I'll have to sleep here. Very unpleasant, but there's nothing else I can do. So I'm chilling out, I'm just kind of relaxing, I'm not being overly stressed about it. I have to spend the night here. It's not going to kill me, it'll be a bit uncomfortable and a bit messy with the mud, and I'm not that badly bogged in terms of, I don't have, you know, if you spin your wheels too much in this stuff, the vehicle goes down, down, down. I'm not sinking. The vehicle is not sinking, which can happen. It's not. It's static. What I am going to do is try and let down the tyre pressures a little bit more. You know, if I look around me now and I think to myself, are you a beginner? Have you never been on the Pans before? Because the fact is that yesterday I crossed over here. I should never have crossed here yesterday. Those are my tracks yesterday. And I was moving at speed. There I am now. And if I look around, the white pebbles, drive on the white pebbles, they're good. So this is dark colour. Why did I drive onto this dark colour? Why did I do that? Because I was overconfident. You see that area there, that dark area there? That's also soft. I should have gone from grass to 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 grass. All it takes is a short stretch. And the fact is that as I came this way now, I saw my old track and thought to myself, oh, why did I move towards the Pan? It's always softer, closer to the Pan. Why did I do that? Not through lack of experience, it's through stupidity. Alright, I'm going to just put the camera here and point it at the car, and I'm going to continue doing some work. I've got a theory about how to get out of this thing, so I'm going to put that there and I'll just talk my way through it. My theory is I need to get those wheels down. At the moment the vehicle is actually trying to climb, it's trying to go up, and because it's trying to go up, I've got gravity against me. Okay, it's only a slight angle, but it is, you have to use every single resource that I possibly can. And I've had a break, I've had a rest, I've done some water, I have made some inquiries about getting a rescue to come. I'm trying to get the mud off this thing. Because the wheels won't grip it when it's got so much mud on it. This one's much better. Much better. So I'm going to get the spade and I'm going to dig a trench here for the Maxtrax. All I need is to get grip on one set of wheels, and if I can do that, it'll pull me forward. How far? Well, we don't know, do we? But I can't just sit and stop and wait for somebody to come. But I'll do it slowly. Take a break. Drink some water. At least it stopped raining. Okay, it stopped raining. That is a big deal. it stopped raining. I only have to get the car to move forward 1 inch. 1 inch. If I had a high lift jack, I would jack up the back, I put the wheels on them, tracks on top of them, and go forward. High lift jack is what I need here. What'll happen there and there and there and there, who knows? It is soft. Okay. All right. Here we are. 2 4 max tracks. There you go. There it is. Boy, and the clutch smells. I slipped a bit of clutch there to get it over this piece here because it was trying to bog, and I had to get it. I rammed it into third, to low third. It didn't want to go, but I forced it. All right, I'm good. Thank you for being here with me to experience this. Now, I've got another problem. I've got 4 max tracks, and there is no way they are going to fit on that max tracks bracket. All right, see you later. My problems have not ended. Still got a bit of jobs to do, and that is I have to try and get as much mud off these max tracks as possible, because I doubt if I can tell you now, I'm not going to figure out to put 4 of them back on that max tracks bracket, but I might be able to get 3, and then the last one I can wrap in some plastic and chuck it in the back. And that's too big for this job, too heavy. It's like glue. Sticks to absolutely everything like glue. Right, I'm going to give this a go. Otherwise I smear the camera with. Okay. Heavy. Go in there. Go in there. Yes. It works. Good. Right. The last one in a plastic bag. Not bad for a 66-year-old, I don't think. Hey? I mean, I don't think so. I think it's pretty adventurous for a 66-year-old. Because the thing is that I'm not one of these people that have lived a risk-averse life. I don't believe I've lived a risky life, but I have not shied away from risk. Oh, there it is. That's the first bit. I stuck out first bit, got that far, second bit. All right, third bit, third attempt, final attempt.
I'm going to then go very, very carefully make my way to Nata Sanctuary. If Nata Sanctuary is closed by the time I get back, Nata Lodge. Take whatever I can find, really. And then tomorrow go and see if there are any flamingos on the Pans. Okay, off we go. I'm staying on this, no matter what I do, I'm staying on this bloody stones. But you see, the stones are not continuous, there's a soft bit in front of me. This is my old track, right here. I'm going to follow this track all the way. I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay, but I'm very hot. Very, very hot. I am not going to fly the drone. I was going to fly the drone to give you an idea of the fence line, but I have run out of time. Alright, where's my track? There it is. Whoops, that was a bloody great big stump there. Alright, I'm safe. I need some sugar to give myself some energy. I've got a Coke in here. I do have a Coke in here. Back on the Ducluir cattle fence line, heading due north, but I would reckon it's about 60 k's, 50 to 60 k's of this till I hit the main road. I'm going to show you some pictures of this looks muddy. Oh, I don't want it to be muddy. I really don't want it to be muddy. I don't want it to be muddy. It's muddy. Oh, mud holes. Shit, this ground is soft. I've just got to focus on, I'm not going to record anymore. I'm going to focus on driving now. I don't want to get stuck. I need to focus. Well, I think one of the reasons why I got stuck before, I was on the camera, so speak to you later. These are the crossings here. You see where the ground is dark? And that's wet. And that's slippery and soft. Stay in third, don't go into fourth, stay in third. Landscape has changed quite a bit. This is now Mopani Woodlands, and I am not out of the woods yet, up by a long chalk. But the tyre, I am seeing fairly fresh tyre tracks, which is good. And now this road now travels in a dead straight line almost until the main road. I must tell you, it's a bit nerve-wracking. It's I really don't want to get bogged again. I am actually pretty worn out from the day's activities. I could, if I find a nice campsite, I might just set up camp. You know, I might just. The thing is, though,
little bit worried about, you know, this road what could happen is part of this road is unpassable. I can't get through, and then I'm going to worry about it all night whether I get through or not. Because tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I have to head to Bulawayo to meet up with everybody, and I don't want to be late. But I do have a spare day, which is comforting. Spare day is tomorrow. For a moment I thought this was no ways I was going to cross, but it's fine. If that bottom had been soft, I would have had to turn back. It's 4:30, and I'm thinking that I'm pretty tired. I'm doing 40 k's an hour. I'm probably averaging 35 kilometers an hour, and it means that I arrive there well after 6, and Nata Sanctuary will be closed, and the Nata Lodge, which is very ordinary, could even be full. I thought I would prefer to just camp here in the bush than to camp there. What has Nata Lodge got for me? Nothing. I can go into Nata Sanctuary tomorrow and maybe spend tomorrow night at Nata Sanctuary and then head off to... So there you go, my decision has been made. The bogging down today has forced my decision. I'm going to camp here in the middle of these Mapani trees. That's me. The other logic is that what happens in 15 minutes time, 20 minutes time? I get bogged down and it's almost dark. Smart thing to do. And it's nothing wrong with it. I can hear a mourning dove. Mourning dove's always welcome. Right, bit of a mess, sorted out. Right, I didn't tell anybody at home. They're all in, well, 2 of them are on their way up now. They entered Botswana this morning. That's Quinton and Lindsay. They are driving a Prado, nicely equipped Prado, 120. They are tonight at the Kamarino Sanctuary, which of course I was there for three nights ago. Meanwhile, in the international airport in Johannesburg,
we are in OR Tambo with Mum, Cam, and we are about to board a flight to Zim. We're meeting Andrew in... Where are we meeting Andrew? Chinoy. Lindsay and Quinton, who are Cam's parents, in Harare. Tomorrow we're picking up the car, and we've got 3 weeks in the bush.
And a beer. I deserve this. I burnt a lot of calories today. Cheers. Thank you for joining me. So, that's my Starlink up there. I need to tell everybody that I am safe and sound, that I am in good shape. I do feel very, very lonely when I'm camped on my own in the evenings, but the Starlink helps, actually, interestingly enough. During the day, I'm so excited and invigorated by just, you know, you've got to listen. I've mentioned this before, but when you're doing solo trips like this, you only have yourself to worry about. But now with Starlink, you also worrying about other people. When you're completely cut off, then you think about them much less. And my loneliness is relieved to a small degree by the fact that I can get a message from home. I wake up in the middle of the night, always, when I'm solo camping, and I listen and I hear stuff, and nothing. Now there's no sound at all. The ringing in my ears is the only sound I can hear, and the droning of my own voice. Oh, Botswana is a beautiful country. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. This is the first time I've been stuck in the pan since '97. And there were no max tracks then. If we had max tracks then, different ball game. It would have been a different. But you can see how even I mean, as good as the max tracks are, when that mud coats that tire, it cannot even grip a max tracks, or finds it very difficult to grip a max tracks. That I've never seen before. I've not seen before. But honestly, they saved my bacon today. If I'd had a high lift and no max tracks, I would be still there. Ideal max tracks and a high lift, because I would have just put the front and the backs onto the max tracks, and that's what I would have done. But they're so heavy, and you can see how heavy this vehicle is at the back. Weight on a vehicle is a big story, and these troop carriers have got a lot of weight on that back axle. Then they in that respect, Land Rover, the old Land Rover Defender is actually better for weight distribution. So, I mean, once it's heavy, it's heavy. Weight is the enemy. There's part of the interior part of this lovely Alucab Hercules. I'm going to remove it. It's a board inside, and I'm not quite sure of its purpose. I'm going to move it. It's 3 kilos, 2 kilos. Every little bit helps, is what I'm saying. And the guys from GoBX, when I went there and said hello to them, they said, you haven't got, can we give you some rock sliders? And I said, wait, well, let me find out what they're going to weigh. Well, they're going to weigh 15 kilos each, minimum. Okay, minimum. Again, that's another 30 kilos. Every little bit, the fuel tank systems in this car is not good for weight distribution. It's mostly behind the back, on the back axle and behind the back axle. My Australian Troopy, it's ahead of the axle. I've got it's a 70-litre tank here, and here I've got 25, I think it's 40, 25, 25, 40, and the 40 is hanging off the back of the thing behind the axle. Great place for one, but it's, and I can see I've got exactly the same springs on my 2.8, and I can see how much they're compressed here, fully laden. They are compressed quite a bit more here than they would be on my 2.8. My 2.8, I would get, my gut is my 2.8 is 150 kilograms lighter than this, and most of that on the back axle. What a beautiful morning, isn't it? Absolutely glorious. The wood pigeon to my left and a mourning dove to my right.